12 weeks to go to the release of King Kong, and this week we're going to look at colour grading. And that's the process that you take your raw negative that got photographed on the set and you manipulate the colours, you change the lighting, the exposures, you do things to it. It's actually a very creative process.
Here in the scanning and recording department, we get the film in its physical form and we convert it into the digital image, which then goes off around the facility for the artist to work on. Film comes in onto this machine here, which is the ARRI laser film scanner. It's the newest scanning technology you can get, and we can start the scanning process.
Once all the images are digital files, we are then in a position to use this technology to grade the pictures.
What we use to grade the film is discrete luster. This software was pioneered on Lord of the Rings, so it's evolved and we're continuing to use that.
It's a very powerful tool in making the film a little stylized, making it look more real.
What we need to do is manipulate the images in terms of colour and density and shapes to create a mood and to make everything look like there's continuity. It's all shot at the same time.
Knowing that the DI process, digital intermediate grading, is going to be involved in a project before I start photography, I definitely make allowances for when I'm actually shooting the film. I generally deliver knowing that it's going to go into this system a much healthier negative, which means it's just got a little more exposure, or I overexpose the negative a little, and that's to make sure that we have full access to all the information in the shadows and the highlights.
What we normally do is to scan the entire movie, but we take a few selected sequences from throughout the film on a reel that's maybe 20 minutes long, and we create what's called the Colour Bible.
I've gone through and selected 2 or 3 shots from every scene for the entire movie, and then we've put looks on all of those, and then we show them to Andrew Lesnie or Peter Jackson, and then once they're happy with all of that, that's the reference that we use for all the scenes as the scenes were actually handed over to us.
So what we're doing is we're exploring opportunities. There's some stuff we look at, we think, well, is it possible to make it a little more realistic? Is there, something wrong with this picture, or, is it, that the highlights need a bit more of a lift, or, will it be sort of more interesting if we move it into a slightly different time of day? What we'll do is we'll then firm it all up so that, you don't know that there's been a grade there at all.
The colour timing can do a lot to change scenes that are shot like in daytime and you want to make it look like night. So if you want to darken a scene down, you can do that, but you may not want to darken somebody's face. So you can actually isolate the person's face, darken the rest of the frame, but keep the face brighter, or the eyes.
We need to bring out Anne's eyes because with the colour correction that I've applied to the image, her eyes are starting just to lose a bit of life. So what I'm working on at the moment is actually trying to bring that life and that vividness out.
And of course, with King Kong being 1933 period setting, we're using the digital colour timing to give it a look that's not contemporary. That just has a slight stylisation.
With this scene here, this is how the shot came in. It's a bit of a wash over there, a yellow wash of this entire scene. When Peter turned this scene over to us, one of the things he said is, let's see if we can get some separation in terms of density and colour, just so it's not all one colour. So it was our job to try to extract some stuff out of this.
The jungles of Skull Island are a really important aspect of the look of the film, and the colour timing allows us to pick little pinpoints of light that are shining through the leaves and burn those out, give a lot of depth to what is essentially our composited miniature jungles.
And then we record it back out onto film, which will be how it's viewed by the general public.
Colour actually affects the mood of the film. It affects the experience of watching the film, just as the sound effects can, or the visual effects, or the acting. The colour is often overlooked, but it's a really, it's a key part of the creative process of the finished film.